I hope you all are safe at home. And in this session, you are going to learn about nutrition in animals. In the previous sessions, you have learned about the nutrition in plants. Let us know how the nutrition in plants and nutrition in animals may differ from each other. We all of us know that all living organisms require nutrients. So where do we get these nutrients? Through food. That means we take in food, this food will be broken down into smaller parts, or we can say into the soluble substances, and these soluble substances are utilized by our body and they were metabolized. And this total process, that means the intake of food and the conversion of the food into soluble form, and then it will be absorbed or utilized by our body, is for the metabolic activities, for doing the activities, lifetime or life activities. This particular process we can call it as nutrition. What is nutrition? We have already discussed in the previous classes. In the first lesson, nutrition is nothing but uptake of nutrients. That means in the form of food. In the form of food, we uptake nutrients, and these nutrients are, we can say, they are utilized by our body. After uptaking the nutrients, we utilize the nutrients for our body. Okay, this particular process we can call it as nutrition. And the nutrition in plants and animals, they differ from each other. They are different from plants. That means the nutrition in animals is different from nutrition in plants. So how can we understand the nutrition process in animals? The nutrition process in animals occurs in 5 different steps. That means here it includes when the food is uptaken by us, this particular food has been undergone several changes. So there are 5 steps involved in the nutrition process. In case of, it is a complex process which occurs in human beings, especially these 5 steps are taken place in human beings for the nutrients to be utilized by the human body. So here we have to know the different 5 steps that occur, or the 5 processes that occur in our body in order to utilize the nutrients. So what are the different steps involved in the nutrition process of animals, especially in human beings? Compared to all the other animals, this human beings, the nutrition process in human beings is very complex. It involves 5 steps or 5 processes. So first one, ingestion. What is ingestion? Ingestion is nothing but taking in food. Taking in of food is nothing but ingestion through mouth, not other parts, through mouth only. So ingestion means taking in of food through mouth is nothing but ingestion. So after once the food has been introduced into our body, that means when once the food has been uptaken through mouth into our body, the food enters into the digestive tract. The food enters into the digestive tract to undergo digestion. So next step is digestion. In the digestive tract, once the food enters into the digestive tract, what happens? The digestive juices are secreted. The digestive juices are secreted by our digestive tract, and thus what happens? The food will be digested. That means the food will be converted into, which is in complex form, is converted into a simple form, simple soluble form. This particular process of conversion, that means changing of food from complex form to the simple soluble form, we can call it as digestion. Next one, absorption. When once the food has been digested, our body, that means within that means in the liquids which are present in our body, they are called body fluids. This body fluids, they will absorb the nutrients. So with the help of the body fluids, the nutrients are absorbed. That means we can say the soluble form of food is absorbed by the body with the help of they are absorbed in the body fluids. With the help of the body fluids. What are the different body fluids? We are having number of body fluids are there, but the main one is blood. So this blood will absorb this soluble form of food. So thus the absorption takes place. So the digested food will be absorbed by our body in the blood, nothing but body fluid. And then after absorption, what happens? Assimilation. That means after the nutrients, or we can say after the digested food has been absorbed by our body with the help of body fluids, the assimilation takes place. It will be undergone utilization. That means these particular nutrients, or we can say these particular soluble forms of substances, can be utilized by our body in various metabolic processes. So utilization. After utilization, so whatever the leftover, the last process is whatever the leftover undigested food material is there, or the solid food material is there, that can be sent out through our body. That means that can be sent outside of our body with the help of excretion process. So in egestion is completely opposite to ingestion. Ingestion is uptaking food. That means intake of food is nothing but ingestion. And what is egestion? Sending outside. That means whatever the undigested food is present in our body, it will be sent outside of our body through a process called excretion, which can be done by different organs present in our excretory organs present in our body. So with egestion is one of the process where the undigested food, the solid food, will be sent out of our body. So these are the 5 steps or the 5 processes that occur in our body during nutrition process. So in nutrition, in animals, especially in human beings, the 5 steps occur during the nutrition process. One is the ingestion, second one digestion, third one absorption, fourth one assimilation, and last one is the egestion. Let us discuss about the nutrition in different animals. So I will give you some examples. By giving that examples, I will explain the process of nutrition in that particular animals. The first and foremost example is amoeba. Amoeba. We all of us know that amoeba is a unicellular organism. Amoeba is a unicellular. Unicellular means uni means one. Uni means single. Okay. Cellular means cell. That means single celled organisms are called unicellular organisms. So we know, if you consider amoeba is a unicellular organism. And we know that amoeba is a protozoa. It's a protozoan member. We have to understand that amoeba is a protozoa. Okay. So in the amoeba, how the nutrition occurs? If you see the structure, cell structure of this amoeba, so the amoeba, they are having no particular shape. That means they don't have a rigid shape. They don't have a rigid shape, and they appear in different shapes. That means they may change their body structure, cellular structure, from one form, one structure to the another structure. So they may not be stable. So they are having, on the body, if you observe, they are having finger-like projections. So what are these finger-like projections means? They are nothing but pseudopodia. What are they? They are pseudopodia. What is the meaning of pseudopodia? Means Pseudopodia means false feet. Pseudopodia means false feet. This particular pseudopodia, they help this unicellular amoeba or amoebae to move towards to identify the prey. They are helpful for moving towards they direct this amoeba towards the prey, and they help in the movement. Not only that, this false feet, they are also useful for the absorption, for the nutrition, for the absorption of the prey. That means for catching, for we can say for trapping the prey, this particular pseudopodia are useful. For trapping the prey, this pseudopodia are useful. Okay. So how they will trap? Here, these pseudopodia, whenever they comes in contact, whenever they identify the presence of prey, automatically this pseudopodia, they will extend and they will trap the prey. Whatever it may be the prey, they will trap the prey, and slowly what happens? This pseudopodia will phagocytose. That means they will absorb. That means they will intake this particular feed or the prey inside the cell, and when they with the help of food vacuole which is present, this particular pseudopodia, they will trap this particular insect or we can say the prey, and they will intake this particular prey inside. They will take this prey, they will make this prey to enter into the cell, inside of the cell, there with the help of the food vacuole. So we are having food vacuoles. What are these food vacuoles? Food vacuoles are the small cavities present in the cells of amoeba. So these food vacuoles, they are the small cavities. This particular food vacuoles, they may, with the help of this pseudopodia, they may that means they will uptake this prey inside. That means the prey, after with the help of the pseudopodia, when they are trapped and they are sent into the cell, these food vacuoles, they come in contact with the pseudopodia to uptake this prey inside the food vacuole. Within the food vacuole, what happens? The food vacuole comprises of digestive juices. This food vacuole comprises of digestive juices, and these digestive juices, they help in the digestion of the prey. Thus, in this way, in amoeba, the nutrition occurs. That means once the prey has been digested with the help of the food vacuoles, this food will be converted into a soluble form, and that will be utilized by the amoeba for its life processes.
See students, this is amoeba. Here you can observe the finger-like projections called false feet or pseudopodia. And in this amoeba, here when the prey comes near, that means when the amoeba recognizes the prey with the help of pseudopodia, it will move towards the prey. And how this pseudopodia are trapping the insect, we can say the prey, and how it is how the pseudopodia are extended, and how the prey can be sent into the inside of the body of this amoeba. And there, just beneath that pseudopodial structure, we are having the food cavity. This is the nucleus of the amoeba, and this food vacuole, it immediately comes in contact with the pseudopodia, and when they come in contact, the pseudopodia will release the prey into the food cavity, that means food vacuole. So inside the food vacuole, we are having they are having digestive juices, and with the help of the digestive juices, this prey has been digested, and the digested food supplies or it will be utilized by this amoeba in order to get nutrients, and energy will be provided to this amoeba to carry out its life process.
And let us know about Hydra. We know that Hydra is very simple multicellular organism. It is a simple multicellular organism which lives in the bottom of the oceans. Simple, it is a simple multicellular organism. And where it lives? It lives at the bottom of the bottom of the seas and oceans. Consider the structure of this hydra. The hydra is having a structure. It is having a long stand-like structure, and which is having at the top, it is having a mouth, and this mouth is surrounded by small, we can say, tentacles. The hair-like structures, we can say, the tentacles are found. Here, this particular, the thin strands of structures are found. They are called tentacles. And these tentacles, what is the use of these tentacles means, this particular tentacles, they are helpful for this hydra to trap the prey. These tentacles, they will move in the particular, that means in the ocean bed, that means due to the water movement, water flow, these tentacles will flow. They will flow. And whenever they identify, here this hydra is stable. It is attached to the seabed. If you consider this is the seabed, at the bottom of the sea, or we can say at the bottom of the ocean, this particular hydra will attach to the bottom with the help of its stalk-like structure. And then what it will do, whenever a prey comes near to this, these tentacles, these hair-like structures, very thin structures, they will trap this, they will slowly trap the prey. So here they used to trap, slowly they will move together, that means towards near to each other, and they will trap this food, or we can say the prey. They will trap the prey. For example, this is a prey. Like small animals, generally this hydra, they will trap small animals in the oceans, or we can say seas. So this particular, generally we can say they appear in seas also. So the small animals which are present in the seas and oceans, they were trapped when they come near to this hydra, and this particular small animal will be sent towards the mouth. We can say this is the mouth region. This is the mouth of hydra, and with the help of the tentacles, the small animal will be sent towards the mouth. When once the prey, or we can say the food or the feed that enters, that reaches the mouth, these tentacles, they will come further closer, so that through this mouth, that means with the help of the tentacles, this food will be pushed into the mouth, inside of the mouth. And when once this animal enters inside of the mouth, this cavity is there. So this cavity, it will secrete certain digestive juices. That means the cells present in the side walls of the cavity, they will secrete the juices, digestive juices. And these digestive juices, they will digest the animal, and thus after digestion, the digested food will be absorbed, assimilated, or it will be absorbed and utilized by the cavity, the cells present in the cell walls of the cavity. And thus this particular hydra gets energy through this, by this way of nutrition process, and thus this particular organism can survive, or it can lead its life process with the help of the energy provided by this mode of nutrition. So this is all about the hydra. So hydra is a simple multicellular organism, and which may be seen in the seas and oceans. So we can see on the beds of seas and oceans, and this particular organism, they will attach with their stalk. They are like stalk-like structures, and with the help of this stalk, they will attach to the substratum, that is to the bottom of the seas or oceans. And they are having tentacles, small hair-like structures called tentacles, or long thread-like structures called tentacles. With the help of the tentacles, they will trap the prey, and these tentacles, they will, after trapping the prey, they will move further closer together to make that prey or the animal, small animal, to reach the mouth of the hydra. When once this particular animal has reached it was further pushed inside with the help of the tentacles inside of the mouth. And thus when the prey enters inside of the mouth, there is a cavity in which the cells present on the side walls of the cavity, they will secrete certain digestive juices. With the help of the digestive juices, this animal or the prey will be digested, and thus it will be converted into a digested form and broken down into a soluble form of food. And this soluble form of food will be easily uptaken, absorbed, and it will be utilized by the hydra cells for getting energy. And thus this energy will be utilized by this hydra cells to do its life processes.
This is hydra. See hydra, how it attaches with the stalk, how it attaches to the substratum of the seabed or the ocean bed. See, generally the hydra are seen in seas, and here this is the substratum, and onto this substratum it has attached. And these hair-like structures, thin strands or thin strand-like structures are nothing but the tentacles. See, tentacles. And when these tentacles, they will attract the animals. When the small animals, they come near to these tentacles, see here how the tentacles are trapping the animal or prey, and slowly this prey will be sent into with the help of the tentacles. How the tentacles come closer together and how they are moving that, or how they are sending that prey towards the mouth. When the animal or the prey reaches the mouth, see how it will be pushed by the tentacles inside of the mouth, and inside of the mouth the animal or the prey will be digested, as the walls of this hydra will secrete some digestive juices, and that with the help of the digestive juices the animal will be digested, and thus the digested food will be absorbed by the cells present on the sides of this inside of the hydra, and it will be utilized, and energy will be provided for them, so that with the help of that energy provided due to utilization of the digestive food, this hydra will carry out the life processes.
Next comes the frog. We know that frog is an amphibian. What is the meaning of amphibian? Means it lives in water as well as on land. So frog can live inside the water, in the water, as well as on the land. So that's why we can consider frog as an amphibian. If you consider the nutrition in frogs, it is very well developed. That means the digestion process in case of this frog is very well developed. And how it will trap the prey. That means here the frog is having a specialized tongue. The tongue is bifid in nature and it is very sticky in nature. So when once the prey reaches the nearby region, or it comes near to this frog immediately, it will extend its tongue, it will open its mouth and it will extend its tongue, and because of the sticky nature of the tongue, it can trap the insects, especially the food. Generally the frogs, they will feed on insects. So it will feed on insects by trapping the insects with the help of the sticky tongue. And how the digestion, sticky tongue, and how the digestion occurs. Here the frog is having a well developed digestive system. With the help of that well developed digestive system in their body, they can secrete the digestive juices and they will digest the prey, and by the digestion process they will convert that prey into a soluble form, and through that they will get nutrients, and those nutrients are utilized by their body to get energy.
Here is the frog. We know that frog is an amphibian and a multicellular animal, and here this frog, how it uptake the food material means with the help of its bifid sticky tongue. See how bifid means the tongue is divided into two, at the end it is having two that means two parts, or we can say a slit is present at the end of the tongue. So this particular tongue is sticky in nature, and with the help of the sticky tongue it can trap. How it is trapping the insect? See, with the help of the bifid tongue, how this frog is trapping the insect. It traps the insect easily, and thus that trapped insect will be sent into the mouth of this amphibian, or we can say frog. And there, when the food will be ingested, the food will undergo several process in order to release the energy, and that energy will be utilized by this frog for its life process. I hope children you understood these topics very well. In the next class we'll discuss about the spider, mosquito, butterfly, and we can say housefly and paramecium. Until then, be safe and be protective. Thank you for listening, children.